This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm settling in.
Your new home. You have a new apartment.
Yeah, I'm settling in there, but I'm also settling into just the idea that this is it. This is it for a while. This is my life. I'm here. I'm not leaving much. I'm not doing much, and this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, to give like a little update about what New York City is like right now, because not everybody that listens to this podcast lives in New York City, I found.
That's despicable. Hey, if you're going to listen, have the decency to move to this city.
Yeah, come on. This podcast is for New Yorkers only. I don't even understand.
Real New Yorkers, get yourself a slice.
I don't know how you can even comprehend what we're talking about if you're not a real New Yorker.
How are you listening to this if you're not walking by the Chrysler Building and the Flatiron Building and Famous Rays?
In New York, we are in phase 3. We're about to start phase 4. So a lot of things have reopened. You have to wear masks all the time.
Much to your chagrin. I think
no, not much to my chagrin. I've always got a mask on.
You're waving around a musket in the streets.
Yeah, I put on my white powdered wig sometimes, Tim, just to prove the point.
Tri-corner hat.
Yeah, but I wear a mask everywhere I go. I'm wearing a mask right now, even though we're in our own apartments, Tim, just in case.
Yeah, it can go through wires, Tom. Did you know that? It comes through wires.
Well, we're going to talk about that later today. But so a lot of businesses are open. A lot of restaurants are doing outdoor dining, which is actually like really nice. They've allowed restaurants like to basically take like the parking spots outside of their restaurant and build like temporary outdoor structures.
Yeah, that's nice for other people. It's not nice for me. I'm not messing with that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's still too risky, and I haven't done it. But it's available. It's an option. And it's good. Like for the most part,
I don't want to use a fork that's not my fork for the next 6 months.
You know what? Like food stuff is fine for the most part.
Yeah,
they've said.
But I still don't want to. You know what? This has given me time to reflect on. Maybe I don't want to use communal silverware ever again.
BYOF.
Yeah, maybe I will bring my own F's and S's and K's.
Are you going to bring a bunch of different sizes just in case? Because you don't always know what you're going to order beforehand.
I do, but I do order a variety of things. So I will bring a salad fork, a dessert spoon, as well as a soup spoon.
One of those little shrimp forks.
Oh yeah. And listen, if you're not serving shrimp during the pandemic, don't expect to get my business.
So that's where New York is, and we're doing very good as far as numbers go. I know the other day we had the first day that nobody died in New York City from COVID, which was great. A great thing when people stop dying. So
yeah, I mean, look, yeah, it's a great thing when people stop dying. But Tom, if everybody stopped dying of everything everywhere on Earth,
that's true.
Tom, we'd have problems very quickly.
Let me be clear: I am not trying to make a case for immortality for everyone on Earth. We would run into some big time problems very quickly.
Do you think, by and large, people would be sad if they put it up to a world vote, right? And they said, look, we can, and this is the angels or whatever, they come down from heaven, and they're like, all right.
You can't even get God off his throne for this vote?
No, because, it's like an electoral college thing. The angels.
Okay.
The angels have to go to like each continent or whatever,
right.
God doesn't have time to make the same friggin' stump speech to everybody. But basically it's like, you guys have a choice. We can make everybody right now, all of you, immortal. But things are going to get messed up if we keep letting you have kids. So no more babies. So like everybody now, look, you're here right now. You're in. You're never gonna die. And by the way, they're like heaven and hell. They're full, so there's nothing that you can do about it. So
Oh, wait, is this the reason why they're offering this?
Yeah,
Because then that gives you a little more negotiating power. If you know heaven and hell are full, then it's like, oh, well, you guys are the ones with your backs up against the wall. Let's talk about the conditions of this immortality here.
Well, no. You think the angels have their backs against the wall?
Heaven and hell are full. Where are they going to put new souls?
Yeah, no. This is the deal. Either that, or everybody keeps getting to have babies, and we can look at babies on Instagram, and you can have your own little babies and play with them in their little power wheels and little tykes. Yeah, but then when you die, it's over. Like no afterlife.
Well,
but you get to have babies still.
Huh. But then what if you're like, oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, that would suck to have like the first solid confirmation of the afterlife come in the message of, and it's all full.
Yeah.
Look, I know everybody's been wondering what happens after death. Don't worry about it now. It's not important anymore.
Yeah. So like we're either going to abolish death. Death, it won't be an issue.
Yeah.
Or death will just be it.
Now, will people
But you can have babies.
Will people keep aging, and will you just be like the same age you are when this decision's made forever?
That's unclear, and the angels are very tight-lipped about that, my friend.
Okay, because it would suck. It would suck to be like 800 years old and be like a skeleton walking around, with like
What are you talking about?
What? Like if you keep aging and eventually,
you wouldn't want to be a skeleton walking around.
No, not after 800 years. I'd be like, you know what, bury me.
No, you could go dance around to Dance Macabre everywhere. And,
you would get
can
tired
play
of that after 100
on
years.
Your ribs.
And also that would suck. Like if somebody had a newborn and then it's like, oh great, now I have a newborn forever.
Or maybe not. Or maybe the newborn ages.
Right, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
Or maybe everybody ages in reverse like Benjamin Buttons.
No, that makes no sense. That's nowhere in the Bible, Tom.
I'm not so sure. Tim, I've been meaning to show you this new Bible that I've been reading that a man gave me.
So part of my settling into this life where I'm not going out to restaurants.
Right.
And it doesn't look like, things are going to be opening up very soon. You know how at the beginning of the quarantine, they were all like, hey, Shakespeare wrote plays or something that were like all like when he was in quarantine, but all that was like debunked or something. But then that turned into like, no, you do not have to be productive during this.
Yeah.
We are all going through a very stressful time. Do not feel like you need to do anything, right? And I was like, cool. And like I watched TV for like 4 months. It was great. But now I'm getting antsy. And now I'm just like, shit, if I did something for 20 minutes a day during all this, I'd be like great at something. So I ordered a bunch of stuff. I'm going to become a really good magician, Tom.
Oh, all right. I was going to say, I thought you were going to say you were going to become a really good playwright. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's going to work. But Tim, I could see if you really, if you use this time to devote yourself to because that's the hardest thing about magic is that it's all practice.
Yeah, and I'm bored as hell.
Right.
And I can still watch TV if I'm practicing like different types of shuffles and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and different sleights of hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm focusing on card magic, but you know what's cool, Tom?
What?
About the internet? I think the internet's terrible in every way, but there are some really good resources for magic where like you can find out how magic is done on the internet.
I know, and like when we were kids and teens, we'd have to like convince our parents to like drive us to some weird store like an hour away where it's like, yeah, we have a video about how to do this trick. It's $100 and it's 15 minutes long.
And when you're done with it, if you practice for 100 hours, you'll know how to do one magic trick.
Yeah, exactly. So the internet is great for that.
Yeah. I still bought a book, Tom, and I bought a few packs of 2 packs of some nice bicycle playing cards.
Nice.
At the very least, my goal is I'm gonna be really good at shuffling cards.
Yeah, I mean, that's a useful skill to have. You walk in.
I suck crap at shuffling cards right now, Tom.
Yeah. Well, if you get good at, handling cards, I don't know, maybe that's a transferable skill. Can become a card shark or something.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
I should learn how to count cards during all this.
Then you and I could go to Vegas together.
Yeah.
When this is all done. Or we could go there right now. It's open, right?
Yeah. You can put on a real big show, and I can rob the casinos blind. We'll own that town. I was going to say, when I was talking about the condition New York City's in right now, that I'm happy with everything right now. That I'm cool. If we can just keep it like this, I can deal with the way things are like this for a year before there's a vaccine or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not.
I'd rather not too, but I'm this is fine. And this took a lot of work to get us to this point. I would much rather stay here until there's a better solution to everything than let's risk it. Let's open up Broadway and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's get tourists back in.
But are they going to reopen that Beetlejuice musical when they open up Broadway?
I don't know.
In that case, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see that Beetlejuice. It was Michael Keaton in that Broadway production?
No, Michael Keaton was not in the Broadway production. He might be in the new Flash movie, though, playing Batman.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you brought it up, Tim. That's your fault.
I brought up Beetlejuice the musical because it was my understanding that Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice from the film Beetlejuice, was going to be playing Beetlejuice. Much like the way, remember when Green Day's American Idiot was on Broadway, and I think people stopped going to it, so they were like, "Hey, Billy Joe from Green Day is going to be the main character in this." Oh,
I didn't know he ever even did that.
Yeah, and I think it's still closed. I think it was everyone's like, "No, I don't think he'd be good at Broadway. I'm not going to go see that."
Yeah, I would have been more interested to see it with him, just to see the acting parts.
Yeah. They should have had him when he sings and then switched him out with Jeremy Piven for the acting. America's greatest actor.
Well, Tim, the last time he tried to get on Broadway, he got very sick from mercury poisoning. So
I know this will be his grand return to the Great White Way.
Did you know that the album American Idiot is actually about George W. Bush?
Now, who's that?
Tim, let's get right into it. 5G. You're hearing a lot about it. What do you
Yeah, allow me.
Okay.
Five Guys is an American fast casual restaurant chain focused on hamburgers, hot dogs, and French fries, and headquartered in Lorton, Virginia, an unincorporated part of Fairfax County.
That's not what 5G is. 5G is not short for Five Guys hamburgers.
I wish, though, right?
Every time I've had Five Guys hamburgers, I've had to literally run home before I make a mess in my pants.
Guess what? Just eat it at home.
No, by the time you get it home, it's not, I don't know, things start congealing.
No, that's what's great about it, Tom.
I don't know about that.
I love a Five Guys. You get so many toppings on it, Tom.
I worked across the street from a Five Guys, and this is how bad the stomach issues I have with Five Guys are, that I've never been to that Five Guys because it's too far from my home.
But you could just go to the office.
No, Jim, not if I want to be able to come back the next day.
I worked in an office that was directly above a Five Guys, so the whole office smelled like Five Guys.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. Because it wasn't working in the Five Guys kitchen. It wasn't that concentrated.
It was subtle, a little subtle waft of Five Guys.
All right. Well, Tom, I'll tell you. I'm throwing it over to you because that is all that I have prepared for this episode.
Tim, you said you were going to do research into 5G and how it works.
I did, and then I looked up Five Guys on Wikipedia.
So 5G, Tim, is the new. Right now, a lot of phones have 4G, and before that, they had 3G.
Mm-hmm. I remember when 3G was a big deal.
Exactly.
What a stupid idiot I was.
Right, and before that, we had 2G. And then before that, I don't think they called it 1G because it was kind of like they didn't call World War One while it was happening.
Yeah, they called it the Great War, and then they had to eat their words.
Right, they felt so stupid.
20 years later, yeah. Good job, idiots.
So I think that's why they didn't call 1G. But anyway, like 2G, like the first iPhone was 2G only, and people were mad about that because like 3G was already a thing by then.
Tom, you are assuming that, I mean, of course I know, but that the listener knows what even this is. This is a network data?
A network. Like, it's voice.
Explain this on not for me, again, because I'm a very smart man.
Right.
I'm very young, and I just intuitively understand this stuff. My generation, we grew up with all this technology, so we're all very familiar with it.
So the G stands for generation. So it's just first generation, second generation, and like really what the generations are. It isn't necessarily one thing. It's kind of a bunch of things tied together. So things to do with like mobile phone infrastructure, mobile phone towers, and then of course the mobile phones themselves. They all need to be working within the same generation. So that's why, for example, the iPhones me and you have right now, they can't use 5G because they don't have any of that stuff in them. You gotta
the same way that like in as new technology came out, you couldn't put a CD-ROM into a floppy disk drive, right?
Exactly, or even better, because that wouldn't have fit a DVD into a CD drive.
Right. Okay.
So
I always have to one-up me with your DVD technology, Tom.
So to say nothing of Blu-ray. And
Blu-ray, huh?
And HD DVD.
That's what my money's on. Man, I can't believe the two of us. If we had to make a bet, what year was this? 2007, the year of the Blu-ray versus HD DVD. You and I don't care about this stuff, but you and I had numerous conversations when we were just like, Blu-ray. These idiots think they're gonna overtake HD DVD. No way.
Yeah, of course HD DVD is the way of the future. Well, so I don't know if it was worth what they did, but the way Blu-ray won out was it was Sony's technology. They put it in the PlayStation 3. But that made the PlayStation 3 like $200 more than the Xbox 360. So the PlayStation 3 didn't sell well at the time, but even though it didn't sell well, it was still, selling way better than any HD DVD player. So it's kind of like, yeah, we won the format wars. We won the Blu-ray. Yeah, our video game division lost a ton of money.
They lost the battle and won the war.
Exactly.
And the war determined how people would watch movies for 18 months.
Well, exactly. That by the time they had decisively won, and like PS3 was over, by then, the PlayStation had gotten Netflix and all of that. It was like, well, if I could just watch something without any disc, that would be preferable to me.
Sony was like, but every Blockbuster in the world will be stocking their shelves with Blu-rays.
Right. I forget where Blockbuster fell on that. I think they were already starting to be on their way out, I think, by then. But I believe they were stocking both.
I feel like at that point they were just like, we have like a lot of candy, and I think you
popcorn.
could like, sign up for credit cards here,
Right?
And
Buy
we'll sell
copies
you a
of Entertainment
cell phone.
Weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for a long time, the number one Netflix device was the Nintendo Wii. That's what most people were watching Netflix on.
What a bunch of jerks.
I don't know what that had to do with anything, but 2G was like unusable basically for data. It wasn't very good. 3G got a lot better, but at the time phones sucked anyway. 3G got a lot better and the phones got better.
Now this is primarily for data, right? Not for voice?
It is for
is
voice
everything?
too. So like 4G LTE, there is VoLTE, which is voice over LTE, which does improve voice quality. But I haven't heard of anything voice related to 5G. There probably is something, but I think they might have just been like, look, we made people's voices sound as good as we possibly can, and nobody talks on these things anymore.
Yeah.
So let's just get rid of it.
I know it's cliche, but my phone doesn't work as a phone. But I use that to my advantage more than anything.
What do you mean it doesn't work as a phone?
I mean, it works as a phone, but like the calls are all crappy. They all sound like crap. Even if I have a good connection, it sounds bad.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like a big part of that is you gotta get your ear right in the right place nowadays.
It's tough.
Or else, or else nothing. Well, the holes are so damn small. And also, like, sometimes I'll be talking to somebody on the phone and they'll like...
Even with your famously big ears, you can't find that hole?
I don't have big ears. And then somebody...
Oh, Tom.
What? I have big ears? I
Trust
don't
me,
want to
I'm
be...
a friend.
I don't want to be hearing this now. Has everybody known this for decades?
I mean, you should be. I hope you're hearing it. Otherwise, what are those things just for show?
I was going to say the microphone holes are very small too, and I find people cover them by accident a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, but primarily for data, 3G was the first the first generation where it was like, okay, this is usable. I can look stuff up on this.
Now, is that any relation to Tracy Morgan, the last OG?
No, it doesn't have any relation to that TV show, Tim. But then 4G was when shit started getting real, where it was like, oh, this is as fast as my Wi-Fi connection now, or in many cases, even faster. So I feel like that was when Wi-Fi on your phone kind of became less important. Like once I started getting 4G phones, that was when it was like, oh, I don't need to connect to like this bar or restaurant's Wi-Fi. Like my phone's fine. However, all these...
Without looking it up, what was the first iPhone to have 4G technology?
I believe it was the iPhone 5.
Tom, it's very impressive of you.
What, am I right?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look it up. Sure. I wouldn't know how to verify. I wouldn't know what to search for.
Well, now I'm doubting myself. But the with all this technology, the first phones that come out, like the modems are always way too big and power hungry. So you never want to get, I mean, that's why like iPhones are always like a little behind on 3G, 4G, 5G, because it's like, well, those first ones, your battery's going to last for like a half hour, and it's, you know, a chicken or egg problem where it's like, yeah, I got the first phone with 5G. It's like, cool. They didn't put up the 5G towers yet, so it's not even going to work for that. And by the time they have the 5G towers up, they're going to have 5G in like regular phones for regular prices. And you're going to be like, shit, I have this gigantic weird phone that cost me like $2,000 and the battery lasts an hour and it sucks compared to the newest iPhone or Samsung
Yeah, and we're gonna have bigger problems once they start putting up those 5G towers. Let me tell you.
Well,
You just wait and see.
We'll get to that, Tim. So basically, like all these terms just kind of cover a bunch of like a bunch of technologies within, and 5G is actually 3 different technologies. Tim, there's high band, mid band, low band.
I prefer high band.
Well, that might sound good on paper, that you would want the highest band. But let me tell you this, Tim.
You know, you mean the Grateful Dead?
What?
The highest band?
Oh, I see. Because they smoked doobies.
Yeah, they did drugs and they were high.
Yeah.
But they were also a band in the musical sense.
Well, they didn't do anything beyond doobies, did they?
The Grateful Dead?
Yeah.
Tom, you have a lot to learn.
The occasional toke when somebody was passing it around. But Tim, how else could they perform music if they were
That's true.
under
That's
the
true.
influence?
Yeah. I think they were. I think
Sure,
they were pretending.
the first time the joint comes around, yeah, I'll take a hit. The second time, no, I'll pass, man. I gotta go perform a concert, and I wouldn't be able to on drugs.
Thousands of people have paid money for this, and I'm not going to show up inebriated.
Yeah, that would be incredibly unprofessional. So, high band is the fastest, but this band doesn't go through shit. This band can be blocked by freaking windows, which even your eyes aren't blocked by windows.
You're telling me my eyes are better than high band 5G?
That's what I'm here to tell you, Tim.
This is sick. I can't believe I ever even implied that I was more of a fan of high band 5G than the mid or low band.
Yeah. So the high band like the place that they're looking to put this in is like stadiums and stuff. Because it works great outdoors if there's like line of sight. But without that, it just, or like within a building, I guess they can kind of do it, but you need a lot. It's almost like a Wi-Fi router. Like the signal just, it's very fast, but it doesn't go very far and it gets blocked very easily. Now,
that's why high band is my least favorite.
Now, low band can cover wide swaths of land. They think it will be particularly good for rural areas. You know, sometimes when you're like out in the country or whatever, this happens to me all the time. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I just don't have a cell phone signal right. Because there's no tower for miles. This will be better at that, but it only offers about a 20% speed improvement over LTE.
That's it?
That's it. But Tim,
is there low band LTE too? Like is the previous technology stratified like this?
A little bit, I think, but not to this degree.
Okay.
Because there is MIMO technology, many in, many out.
That's cute.
Which is like your phone, for example. You have like a new iPhone.
How dare you?
It has.
Do not tell everybody how wealthy I am.
4x4 MIMO, which means like 4 antennas coming in and 4 going out, I think. So it's got like multiple connections.
It's like John F. Kennedy International Airport over here, Tom.
Exactly. So it can be very fast. But I'm not sure about, I mean, there are different bandwidths. I don't think it's as varied as it is with 5G. But so that's kind of 5G in a nutshell.
Tell me about this medium band.
Oh, the medium band is the best of both worlds. It's, it can cover a pretty good range. The medium band, I think, is basically what like the LTE replacement is going to be. I believe it covers like a similar grid, maybe not as much, but it is like much faster. Covers a similar area, and what most people are going to be connecting to. But some of these phones, they don't necessarily support all of these different bands, the low, mid, and high. So you might get a phone that only supports like high and mid. So it's like this phone's fast as hell. But if you're, far from a tower, you're just not going to get a connection at all. Or it will drop down to LTE 4G.
Which makes me sick.
It does. Yeah. You're right to feel sick about it.
And we're back. We're talking 5G with Tom Reynolds.
That's me. Now, Tim.
Wow, but you're like one of those cool experts that'll crack a beer.
Well, Tim, 5G isn't all it's cracked up to be. There is one downside.
You're like that cool science teacher that got fired for cracking a beer in class.
Did that happen at our school?
No, they didn't fire people. Remember that one science teacher had inappropriate relations with a student? And
yeah.
I think they gave him a promotion.
Well, I don't think they gave him a promotion tied to that. Oh, they did. They made him the head of the science department.
Yeah, I don't think it was tied to that.
Yeah, but they looked over it.
Yeah.
Well, we did have the one substitute teacher that was caught drinking in the parking lot, and he was fired.
Yeah, that was just sad.
It was very sad. It was during a class he was supposed to be teaching.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tim, I'm sure you're sitting there thinking 5G sounds great. Sign me up. And I want to tell you there is one downside, and that's that it gives you coronavirus.
That seems like a pretty significant downside, Tom.
Well, but here's the thing, Tim. It doesn't. It gives it to you whether you got a 5G phone or not. So you might as well get a 5G phone.
All right. So where did all right, Tom, I think it's irresponsible.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Hey, why don't you learn how to
Take
take a joke?
it easy.
My God.
Maybe 5G killed your sense of humor.
Yeah, why don't you lighten up?
What were you going to say?
Where did all that get started? Just because the two things happened to be in the news at the same time?
Basically, that's it. It's just...
and our entire world is a dystopian hellscape?
Yeah, and we got a lot of dumb people that have no media literacy. The problem is, the main thing with 5G is the reason why this has become like a conspiracy theory is because they've done such a good job marketing 5G. Because here's the truth. 5G isn't that different. They're just upgrading a few, modems and towers. It's really not that, like I said, with the low band is only 20% faster. Like a lot of 5G is hype. It's
Tom,
just,
now don't say that. Now you're saying things you don't mean. Don't say things you can't take back.
it's just, yeah, we found, we made all this new technology. Shit. There's one problem. People are pretty happy with LTE. People like, it's not like the old days of iPhones, like especially in the States here when it was only on AT&T. And like AT&T had like put out a letter saying like, sorry, too many people bought iPhones. So that's why like your iPhone loses connection all the time and can't download things. Like, yeah, we sold more than we can actually support. That hasn't been the case in freaking years. Where up until pretty recently, like my phone LTE connection was faster than my home connection. Where unless I'm somewhere where I'm getting like coverage can always be better for everything, sure. But unless I was somewhere where I only had like 1 bar of signal, I've never had a problem with any LTE phone I've had where I'm like, come on, download faster.
Yeah, and you're always pirating Hollywood movies.
But I don't do that on my phone, Tim. I do that on my home computer where I can watch it on the big screen. Well, and
you know what never occurred to me, Tom?
What?
That a phone has a modem in it?
Yeah.
This is mind-blowing.
Well, Tim, you said you were young and hip and you understood how phones work.
Yeah, and modems are for old people like you, your generation.
Well,
Tom.
a modem is just a modulator demodulator, Tim. It's just a way to interpret the radio signal.
Don't you think I know that, Tom?
I think you don't. So basically, everybody's pretty damn happy with their phones nowadays, and people are keeping their phones longer than they ever have because they're like, no, this phone's fine. Not only is this phone fine, but a new phone is like twice as expensive as when I bought this phone. I'm just going to hang on to this phone. So all the cell phone carriers are like, shit, what are we going to do? Like, we really can't compete because everybody's network's like pretty much the same. Like everybody's got, pretty much the same phones. Everybody's pretty happy with our service. What should we do? So they started all this 5G hype, like you need 5G. 5G is going to change the world. It's going to be revolutionary. And that's led partially to people believing like, well, this must be dangerous. If it's this good, there must be something dangerous to it. And like the truth is, it's not that good.
Right. I mean, it seems like the next logical
right. And like, sure. And any of these things, when
upgrade,
when LTE came out, it took years for it to all roll out. And again, that's why companies like Apple were like, no, we're not in any rush. There's like 3 cities that have LTE. We'll put it in next year's phone when all the cities have LTE, or we'll put it in 2 years phone or whatever.
Right.
And that's kind of been the case with 5. I mean, I think the rumors are this year's iPhone is going to have 5G, but a lot of cities do not have. Or I guess a lot of cities do, but again, when I was talking about the mid, low, high, some only have one. They don't have the other. Like I know for a while, I think Verizon in New York City was only putting the high bandwidth. So it's like, yeah, if you were standing on a specific corner in New York City, your download speeds were insane. But if you literally like moved a foot over, you would lose that connection. It's just not very practical. So they can't advertise on TV like, hey, we got this really good thing. Here's the 3 corners it works on. And you're going to have to buy a new phone to use it.
Right.
So instead, they're like, nope, 5G is the future. And I think they did such a good job marketing it that people are like, no, it must be dangerous. There must be something to it.
People think it's equivalent to like when they flipped on the Large Hadron Collider. Like, oh, this might, if this goes wrong,
I mean,
this is going to send us into...
Things haven't been good since they flipped that thing on. So I'm not completely convinced that didn't do something.
I mean, Tom, when did they flip that? Like 2008?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. They've been doing different. It's not like they just flip it on and it's running all the time.
Oh, yeah. No, it is.
So, one of the big things which they haven't really, the marketing doesn't doesn't focus on is that beyond being fast, 5G has a very low ping. Do you know what a ping is, Tim?
No, but I was doing an internet speed test yesterday.
Yes.
On speedtest.net, I believe.
Well, don't give free sponsorships,
Not
please.
a sponsor. And the first thing that it tells you is your ping.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what mine was 19 milliseconds.
Ooh.
Is that good?
That's rough. That's not
is
so
it?
good. Yeah. You know what mine is? You want to guess?
Lower than that?
Yeah, it's about a 2 or a 3.
What? Milliseconds?
Milliseconds, Tim. Thousandths of a second.
Oh my God. Hold on. Give me a second.
Hold on. I have to call my provider here.
Son of a... I'm at 14.
Yeah, you're never going to be a competitive gamer with a ping like that.
I was banking on being a competitive gamer, Tom.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for you.
I quit my job.
So ping is literally Marco Polo, but for computers. So it's your computer's saying Marco and how quickly it can hear back Polo from the server it's trying to connect to the server.
So how do I know that it's not the other server that's slow?
Well, because
I'm pinging, I'm saying Marco, and he's out back having a smoke, and he's like, "Oh crap!" And then he like
gotta
has to quickly stomp out his cigarette, run back in, and be like, Polo."
Because like all these speed test servers, Tim, they try and make sure that they're not the problem, because then people wouldn't use them and trust them.
Well, just so everybody knows, this wasn't an endorsement of speedtest.net, because I suspect that they might be sleeping on the job.
It might be outside having a smoke. So the one of the big things is with 5G is that they want, or they're trying, I don't know if they're there yet, but they're trying to get the ping under a millisecond.
Jeepers creepers.
It's
14 times faster than what I'm having.
Yeah. So, well, even more if it's less than a millisecond.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think they're probably buffering it a little bit.
Well, they're not. Well, no, that's not how it works. But anyway, because the idea is I don't know if this is going to be actually feasible, but the idea is if we get the pings down where it's instantaneous, then all of a sudden that opens up a lot of venues for like autonomous driving, where like if your car can communicate with the cloud that quickly, then, you know, it's not going to be like, oh, we're waiting for an answer while it crashes you into a bridge.
Right.
But again, it's like, yeah, but you can still lose connection. Like you can always lose. Radio waves are not perfect.
Yeah, but radio stations are. 92.3 K-Rock in New York.
Yeah, baby. Man,
Q104.3.
I can't believe how much 92.3 K-Rock in New York still plays Good Charlotte's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
I hear it all the time. It's on. That station is on in my car.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've heard that song more than any other song from the early 2000s.
Right? And it's like,
yeah,
these guys are rich and famous now. I want to hear an update on their thoughts.
One of them is married to Cameron Diaz.
Exactly. And, you know, they're
famous retired movie star.
And they're saying, yeah, all these rich and famous people, they're complaining about the paparazzi. They should shut up. And it's like, well, I hope Cameron Diaz doesn't hear this song. She's going to disagree with you, probably.
She'll be hurt, yeah. It might be their first fight as a married couple. I finally listened to your big hit song from 2003. And let me tell you, I'm personally offended by this. Tom, can I tell you something?
What?
Since we've started talking about 5G, I've been looking at pictures of hamburgers on the Five Guys website. I miss Five Guys.
Yeah, well, you're a vegetarian. You can't eat those hamburgers.
It's been so long since I had a Five Guys hamburger.
So they think 5G can open up autonomous driving, like AR, VR glasses, because it will be fast enough that, like, you know, if you have glasses on that are putting an overlay on the world of holograms and stuff, there can't be a delay, or else everything's going to be wonky.
You'll be walking around like a drunkard.
Yeah, so they think 5G is going to enable that. They think 5G is going to make it...
that sucks. I hope that doesn't happen.
They think 5G is going to make it easier for remote surgery. Because again,
that's
like
good.
you don't want to delay while you're doing surgery, I think is the main idea there. But yeah, that's one of the big but I think all that stuff's like further out. Now, as I alluded to earlier, the problem with 5G is...
So wait, you can just be in your home, lying on your own bed,
Yeah.
you're on your own pillow, and someone could do surgery on you from
your phone.
from far away, from
Yeah.
your phone?
Yeah. And here's another thing, Tim. If we had 5G right now when we're recording this remote, we wouldn't have to do the simultaneous counting and clapping to get us in sync. We would just be in sync because it would be instantaneous. Yeah, I just started recording.
All right, ready?
Yeah. One,
One,
two, three, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Still got it, baby.
So you're not thinking about that huge advantage. I always think, though, the big problem with 5G is it's like, yeah, it's going to make everything faster. It's like, cool, so I'll use up my data even quicker. And that's how they get you. And then also it gives you coronavirus.
Tom, it doesn't give you coronavirus.
So it's mostly a, what is it? Causation is not, or correlation's not causation, or is it the other way around?
What do you mean? With coronavirus and 5G?
And 5G, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Where basically people are seeing 5G commercials and then seeing something very few people in our lifetime have seen, a global pandemic.
They're also seeing Impossible Whopper burgers, but nobody's like, oh, Impossible Whopper's giving us all coronavirus.
Well, because
we're going to be honest, if I had to choose which one, if somebody told me one of these two things is causing coronavirus, I would think it would be the Impossible Whopper.
Well, but the Impossible Whopper isn't putting waves out. That's what people think, that the waves being put out by these cell phone towers are basically microwaving us. Now, what they don't understand is that the wavelength that these 5G towers operate at, those waves cannot pierce your skin. It cannot get inside of you. Much like, 92.3 K-Rock can't get inside of you.
Right, but an Impossible Whopper can.
Exactly. Tim, why are you disparaging a thing you love like the Impossible Whopper? Why are you bringing up questions?
I'm afraid that they're going to be all sold out and there'll be none left for me.
That hasn't been the case so far, so...
It's only gaining in popularity, Tom.
So there are a bunch of ideas around this that are all false. That people... So some people think, coronavirus is fake. It doesn't exist. It is 5G. 5G is what's causing it. And they say, like, oh, look at Wuhan, China. Wuhan, China was the first place with 5G. And then this happened. And now I'm seeing Verizon and T-Mobile and AT&T commercials here just as this started up. And it's just... the 5G launched in Wuhan like a year before. It has nothing to do with it. Again, it's just like okay, there's absolutely no science to suggest this is even possible, let alone likely.
So was this seeded by trolls?
Yeah.
Trolls? Yeah.
Trolls, grifters. This has happened literally with every single, even the Spanish flu in 1917, people back then were blaming it on like the newfangled radios. And 3G people said was responsible for the swine flu. 4G was SARS, and now LTE is coronavirus. And, it's just stupid where it's like, yeah, they're going to be.
And CO2 is global warming.
So some people think it's all 5G related. Some people think that the virus is real, but 5G makes it worse. And then some people think none of that's true, that 5G doesn't make you sick, but they're using coronavirus to keep everyone inside while they install 5G all over the place.
Just so they could more efficiently, install.
Well, I think
poles and stuff.
I think those people think 5G is going to be used to mind control and stuff like that. And it's like, they can put up mind control towers while people are still going to work.
Yeah, they put up all sorts of towers all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's
not like anybody's stopping construction.
Yeah, and if you are inside all the time, then you're more likely to be like, what's going on outside? What are all those trucks doing?
Yeah.
So that, again, none of these things, these are the same people that think the coronavirus is fake. just to keep everyone inside while Trump rounds up all the Satanist pedophiles, which is another theory.
Yeah, I mean, which we should be clear has not been disproven.
We don't know for sure if that's true or not. I mean, it is a little counterintuitive that Trump's telling people to go outside and not worry about anything.
No, he has to keep up the charade, you see.
Oh, I forgot. There's another theory that this is more complicated, that 5G is going to be used to control tiny robots that will be injected into our bodies through the eventual COVID-19 vaccine.
Now that one seems implausible.
That seems, I mean, if they were going to put little nano robots in us, I don't know, they could probably make them work on regular 4G.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think if they made the nano robots, they'd make them to whatever.
Yeah, I think
whatever the technology is. So maybe it's 5G, but that's not the same way that's not going to stop self-driving cars or remote surgery. I mean, it's gonna. They'll figure it out on whatever platform's available to them.
It would be a lot easier to make the nano robots work on 4G than it would be to install a whole new network. I mean, the thing with all of this is like,
what would the nano robots do?
Then they control us, I think.
To do what?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing too. Like all these conspiracy theories, it's always like, the new world order, they want to control us. These billionaires, they just want to, it's like they already do. They've already got it made in the shade.
Yeah, you buy all your stuff from one place.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff Bezos is sitting back like, this is great. But what would be better is if I had tiny robots in everyone that I could use to control them make them buy more Amazon stuff?
Yeah, or like to do work. Everybody does work for. And how would that work? Do the nano robots go into our brains and make us?
That's what I assume.
Okay with it?
Yeah, just
in
make
which case, so who cares?
Right, if you're not gonna mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that always kills me about this too is like a lot, these ideas are frequently traded on Facebook, where it's like, Facebook is doing this to you now. Facebook is rotting your brain and making you think crazy things. Like, you're addicted to Facebook. They don't have to go through this complex nano robots being injected to you and 5G. No, they just put a free app on your phone, and that's enough to keep you occupied and glued to it 24/7.
Hey, man. It's people need to open their eyes.
One of the other conspiracy theories is that the normal face mask, surgical mask, N95 mask, whatever that they're manufacturing. You know how most of them, any decent one, has like a nose bridge, so you can like pinch it to make it, wrap around your nose, be a little tighter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tim, that's a 5G antenna.
Oh, of course.
That piece of metal. That's a 5G antenna.
But to be fair, I've seen it advertised as such.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so I was looking into, how do you fight this stuff? And I was looking into some products that were advertised. And one of the recommendations is you get an EMF shield. And they
unbelievable.
This one person, their review, it's a stupid metal sticker you put on your phone, and the top review was like, "This works because I put it on my phone and my phone stopped getting a signal, so I know it works." And it's like, well, then it's also useless. Like,
so don't have a phone.
So don't have a phone. If you're that scared about it, you just can't have a phone.
I don't like that my oven gets hot, so I bought a product that makes it so my oven doesn't get hot anymore.
Right.
That way I can't get burned.
I want to read you the description of this product, because then you might be like, no, that sounds that sounds like a lot of science. It's true. The Aries microprocessors are manufactured using a photomasking etching technology. The manufacturing process uses state-of-the-art microlithography equipment. The etched nano slits contain up to 1,185,921 circular resonators that are made to the exact width specifications of zero point 0.4 microns and depth of 0.8 microns. These slits are more than 200 times smaller than the average width of a human hair, which is 100 microns. The topological circuit of the Aries patented microprocessor resonator antenna accumulates charges. A cell phone or other electronic charges, electromagnetic impulse generator serves as a source of these charges. When an excess charge polarization has built up, it is automatically redistributed to the Aries microprocessor, which uses the charge to cause a coherent transformation of the field in the form of a hologram made up of regularly alternating maxima and minima. The hologram interacts with external radiation, restructuring and transforming the EMF haze into a more biologically compatible form, thus reducing the conflict between external radiation and the radiation from the human body cells.
Makes sense.
I mean, I have explanations in my sci-fi books that are not this in-depth.
But well, because that's fiction that you're writing, Tom.
That's true. But use a lot of these same words because it's like, yeah, these are just like the cool new buzzwords. And like nano just means small, but you hear
Tom,
about
I
things
have to
being
tell you,
nano. What
you just read was only 90% as compelling as one of your books.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, but then you look at it, and it's literally just a hologram sticker. But they're saying no.
How much do they sell it for?
$50. But it looked like that. but that was like they were like, you really like this is bare minimum. What you really want is the $200 one.
Let's do this, Tom.
But the idea that like.
The asshole who wrote that, the thing that we're mocking right now.
Yeah, he's richer than us.
Made more in the last 3 months than we've made over the last 5 years.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and, you know, it
And he bought probably $18 worth of hologram stickers.
Yeah. I remember in second grade, a kid in my class, his mom made hologram stickers, and it was a big deal.
Bullshit.
It was a big deal. It's pretty neat.
Like personalized hologram stickers?
Not really. Like I think she had like access to like a holographic printer.
That's cool.
But it was still like, you know, there was no way to like it was like, yeah, and then there's a bunch of holographic clip art. Like I don't have the means to capture a hologram and put it in here. Right. That didn't come to malls until, you know, a good 15 years later.
I missed the boat on all this hologram stuff. I didn't know that you could do that at the mall.
Oh, you can do pretty much anything at the mall. Not now, not anymore, but used to be able to. So yeah, that's
the mall makes me uncomfortable. It's all a bunch of people walking around in velour jumpsuits with things written on the butts. All ages.
I thought you liked that. I thought that's why you went to the mall.
No, I don't. It makes me uncomfortable to be walking around there. Man, imagine walking around a place. It'd be pretty sweet.
Well, Tim, let me tell you, if you don't believe in these 5G rumors, let me tell you about some of the brainiacs you're going up against.
All right.
Woody Harrelson.
What?
Woody Harrelson.
Oh, no.
Who rose to fame playing a moron.
Yeah.
A lovable moron, though.
Yeah.
Do you think Woody, what was Woody's last name on Cheers?
Boyd.
Yeah, you think Woody Boyd would believe in 5G? Yeah, if somebody told him. If somebody told him at the bar.
No,
Cliff
would be really into it. And Woody, there were times when Cliff was going off on something and Woody would turn around and be like, Okay, Mr. Clayton. and
yeah, but a lot of times the joke was that Cliff was telling him something real,
Yeah,
and Woody
that's true.
didn't believe it because he
Yeah.
was a country bumpkin.
yeah.
Well, Tim, if Woody Harrelson's not enough for you, what about Mr. John Cusack?
Oh no! Wait, what is his? He thinks there's a corona link between 5G.
He does. Well, both of these people think it's interesting. It's very interesting.
I mean, John Cusack seems like one of the dumbest men alive, right?
Yeah,
Or just like an asshole.
Although it was very funny when I was looking into all this stuff. The first line in the New York Post article about this was, John Cusack looks like he no longer wants high fidelity.
That's very good.
I mean, that's the thing with all these, shitheads with all this stuff, where it's like, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just saying it's interesting. It's like, it's not interesting. It's dumb. Like, you want interesting, read a sci-fi
boring.
novel.
Yeah,
There are
no,
much more interesting ideas out there.
That thing that you just read earlier was not interesting. It's boring.
Yeah, and it's
Nobody's
just,
listening to us right now because you read that thing. They all turned off.
They turned it off. Yeah.
Who else?
Those were the two
Okay.
big names I could find.
All right.
I'm sure there are other. No, there. MIA is another one.
Okay.
But yeah, like
The anti-capitalist who married a billionaire, who
Yeah.
married an actual billionaire.
right. It's just I don't like my. I mean, I've talked about this on the show before because I love conspiracy theories. And I get so frustrated by today's conspiracy theories because they fail the first test of conspiracy theory of like, great, so who benefits from this?
Right.
And what did they get from it? Other great conspiracy theories, there are like real where it's like, oh shit, yeah, I could see how this person would have, faked their death or whatever, or killed this person when we think it was this person because that would have benefited them, or why this technology was hidden, like electric car technology was put away for decades because GE and Chrysler were like, no, that's going to hurt our bottom line. And Mobil and Exxon were like, no, then people are going to buy gas. And it's like, oh, yeah, because that's not actually a huge conspiracy where it's just like, oh, we'll just like buy this company that's on to something. It will cost us peanuts. We'll buy them and then we'll just put them away. Where it's like, yeah, that's believable. But the idea that 5G is causing the coronavirus or causing us to get a mind controlling vaccine and Bill Gates is behind it because I never heard anyone concerned about this before him. And it's like, right. And that's why he was making such a big deal about it because he was like, nobody's concerned. And guys, this is going to happen. I mean, the thing with my big problem with a lot of recent conspiracies is people are just afraid of the randomness of the world. And they want to believe, no. I would rather believe somebody insidious is in charge than believe nobody's in charge. And that sometimes shit just happens. Sometimes a virus can start in a market, in a food market, and spread around the world and shut down the entire world's economy. It's like, yeah, that shit can happen. And that's...
Yeah, and by, taking down Bill Gates, it's not going to stop it. 'Cause-
Right. Well, and also, I don't understand, not to get off on talking about, the conspiracy theorists, but the people that think this was a Chinese bioweapon, but then also refuse to wear masks, where it's like, well, wait a minute. How are those things related? You think this is a literal attack on us, but it's an attack like, what if Pearl Harbor could be prevented by wearing masks? Well, I'll tell you, all those sailors would have been wearing masks. And again, this isn't, I don't know. If you're going to make a bioweapon, this isn't the way you do it.
I don't know. There's a way to do. I mean,
and again,
it's now easier than ever to do evil things on a huge scale, and not only not need a crazy convoluted plan, but actually just be applauded by society for doing that.
Yeah.
For doing large-scale evil things that benefit you and give you more power. It's not like, oh, yeah, they need to jump through all these hoops and, bob and weave, and they have us looking over here, and they have us distracted, and they have us... It's like, no, there are people with untold wealth and power that they have people who are comparatively peasants cheering them on and defending them.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't
need these conspiracies.
You don't have to be that well, like I was talking about with Facebook earlier, where it's like, no, you don't have to be that clever if you want to control society. You could just start a website that's free to sign up and get everybody to sign up for it. What do you think about these guys that used to wear their cell phones on a belt clip because they were afraid it would lower their sperm count?
I think there's something to it.
Yeah. I just noticed that it was always the guys who did that. It was always like, you don't need sperm anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what are you worried? A 60-year-old man? Whatever. Let your sperm go crazy. Get some mutant sperm. Who cares? It also made me think about this. There was this one time when I was a kid, I made a machine to control the weather. It worked, but only temporarily. But it just made me think about like all these people where it's like, yeah, these are ideas I had when I was 5 years old. What?
Nothing. I think that's. I'm happy that it worked.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. What's so funny, Tim? My weather machine?
Yeah.
You can follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at your pal, Tim.
Yeah, follow us on Facebook and Instagram where we can control your minds.
Hell yeah.
Put our dangerous side. Another thing, I'm just going over the rest of my notes here. I'll talk about it at the end.
Reddit.com/r/TCGTE.
Yes. And you can
Discord, it's Complete Guide, I think.
Yes. And you can support our show by supporting our sponsors. Also check out patreon.com/complete guide. For our secondary podcast, Books the Podcast, this week we are kicking off a brand new book called Devil in a Blue Dress that I am reading by Walter Mosley. I'm telling Tim about it, and spoiler alert, I really like this book so far. So, and you get all the back catalog, all the old episodes of Books the Podcast. Patreon.com/complete guide. Check it out. Tim, another thing that I don't like about 5G is whenever they talk about these, they're like, with 5G, you'll be able to download an entire movie in seconds. I've never downloaded a fucking movie on my...
that's not true.
No, on my phone,
on your phone.
When I'm out. And they keep using this as an example where it's like, I could download a movie now on my phone. It would take, 5 minutes or so, which would still be great. And
but seconds. That's great.
It is great, but how many people are in this? People stream things, if anything.
Yeah, but what if you're getting on an airplane? What if you're going to the mountains?
Then you connect to Wi-Fi. I mean, it's a silly... If they're going to try and sell 5G on have you ever been, on the tarmac and decided?
Oh, I have been. There have been times when I got on a plane and I'm just like, fuck, I don't have anything.
And do you watch those movies?
Sometimes. Well, no, if I can get them. Like, you ever walk on to a domestic flight and you're just like,
no
they
TVs?
Don't
have it, yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah.
All right. Point taken. Tim, are you going to get a 5G phone when they come out?
No, I have one of these iPhone 11 Plus. Is that what this is?
Pro.
No, Pro.
Pro. Stop feigning ignorance. I don't know. What's the most expensive one?
And I'll tell you, I got it because it was physically smaller than all the other ones. I don't think the camera's all that good.
Oh,
Maybe I
really?
need to like wash off the lenses or something.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to like that. Apparently, the iPhone 12 is going to be, the regular iPhone 12 is going to be even smaller than that phone.
Oh, really?
It's going to be like apparently between the size of like an iPhone 5 and an iPhone 6 or 7.
Well, you know, I mean, I will eventually get a 5G one, but like, especially now, I don't give a shit what phone I have.
Yeah, that's what I'm running, like the new iOS beta on my phone. And normally one of the big reasons why you wouldn't do that is because it makes your phone unreliable and like usually drains the battery faster. It's like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
If my phone didn't work for a week, that would be okay.
Makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And in
got-
terms of network, I'm just always connected to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I got new Wi-Fi. We talked about this off the podcast. I don't know if we should save this for our paid-only podcast, but this exciting talk. Actually, if somebody's listening to this whole episode, they probably are like, yeah, tell us more about your
Yeah.
Wi-Fi setup.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes after the plugs on our 5G episode. I think you can talk about whatever you want. If anybody's listening, they're in for the long haul. They've fallen asleep 20 minutes ago.
Boy, I was one of these people where I was like, I don't need faster internet. And I'm on the internet all the goddamn time. Don't get me wrong. I love the internet, but I was like, I don't need faster internet. But they raised my prices so much that I called them and they were like, all right, well, for the price you're paying for 50 megabyte down, we can give you 1,000 megabyte, a gigabyte down. And I was like, well, no, I don't think, if I've been fine with 50 for a while, I don't think I need 1,000. But it's like, well, what's
Gigabit, they call that?
Gigabit, yeah. Not gigabyte, gigabit. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me and embarrassing me in front of everyone.
No, I thought you just said 1,000 down. No.
Yeah, 1,000 down.
Yeah.
So instead I was like, no, I just want like whatever the lowest tier is. And they're like, all right, well, that's 200 megabit. So you'll go from 50 to 200 and your bill will be cut in half. And like my bill being cut in half was the main thing I was after. But holy hell, it really has changed everything. And again, it's a fifth of, the top speed I could buy.
Tom, I have the 200 down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do an internet speed test right now and see what the true down is?
Man, you really want to keep people glued to the edge of their seat until the very end of this podcast.
I mean, we should probably tease this at the beginning. Oh, no, this is bad for me. My ping is 21.
Yeah. I already got a ping of 3. I'm going to fucking school you. And we're both FaceTiming right now, so a true stress test.
Yeah. Ooh, my wife is streaming something in the next room, though.
Oh, my wife is streaming something in
I'm
the
a
next
wife
room.
guy, and I support her watching whatever she wants to watch.
That's always your excuse. Tim, what is your down?
I think we should both say it at the same time.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 227.
Oh, fuck. You are double mine. I'm 114.
Oh, really? I mean, I
Yeah.
pay for 200 and they're giving me 220.
Yeah, what's your upload?
309.
I'm at 19.
Oh, really? That
Spectrum
sucks
is
shit.
fucking me, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I'm not near my modem.
I'm not near my modem either. My modem is locked in a cabinet that is about 150 degrees because I put that modem in there.
What did you all right, whatever. We don't need to talk about this. I'm
Yeah,
pissed off.
it's just going to be more problems for you.
I'm just upset. Just more heartbreak. All right. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.